Hello, welcome to Animal Audit Corner. As you can tell, today I'm in my kitchen. And guess what? We are going to have lasagna today. Sort of an Italian lasagna. Of course, it's made with tofu. Now the trick is, now you got all your aids from the MJR Aftermath Foundation and the SPTV Foundation. You got your roof over your head, your car, and the clothes on your back. And that's all for survival, but the main survival of it is learning how to cook. Of course, I don't have too much, so I decided to have another segment to give you the reliable source to add to your table. That is a bunch of recipe you can use. All right. Now, to make your lasagna, you need 30 ounces of tofu. All right. All right. Now we're going to take a potato masher and mash up the tofu. Like one day when I was making tofu scramblers, same idea. We're going to take it and we're going to mash it all together. All righty. And of course, all you, some of you guys have been out of the cult for years, like Janice Gillen Grady, Natalie Webster, and Aaron Smith Levin, and Reese, Reliable Reese, and Serge. I think he's been out for years. I don't know how long he's been out, but okay. All right. Whew. All right. Now, those are the well-known out of the cult. And, of course, some of you got married. Some of you didn't. Or was together with your significant other and your significant other and you got married. And or you're not the conventional person. But however, you guys got the roof over your head. All right. Oh my gosh. Arm's tired. Of course, every weekend I kick back and cook, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to add you guys to the mix so you guys can actually have another resource to survive off of. Now, to be a vegan, not a cheap thing to be, so I try my best at it. And, of course, there is a replacement. Now, if you're a vegan and And trying to get it out of my head. And you into regatta cheese, place it with tofu. Parmesan is made from soy based, I think. Let's see. Based. Yeah. Oh, it's soy free. Oh, so it's soy free. And let's see. All right. Now, okay. Now, okay. What was going on this week? As you know, I told the story. Well, actually, Aaron aired a 12-year-old boy a story that he went into the org to infiltrate it. A 12-year-old boy. Now, I don't know what his parents are thinking, but you know what? Sometimes people do weird things. But I don't know if it was his parents, his older brother or sister. Who knows? Their face wasn't on camera, so I can't make a prediction on that. Although, am I psychic? Well, only at night. But psychics don't always have all the answers. They only have a piece of a puzzle. All right. Now, okay. All right. Let's see. All right. And yeah, went down to the org, was checking it out, and then lady finds the cell phone camera on him. So what? He takes a picture. They take a picture all the time. All right. Let's see. We're going to add, let me see here. Soy free, so I wonder if it's tofu. You know what? I don't even have the glasses here. Why? I don't know. Okay. So we're going to put an entire cup Parmesan. Where is it? Yeah. Now I am going on a whim here, so hang on there. It's not an entire cup, so. Oops. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. All right, got the entire cup in there. So we're going to get rid of the masher. Okay. All right, let me get spatula. All right, so we're going to stir this up. All right, now this is a vegan style one. All right. So we're going to put this back in the refrigerator. So we're going to stir it up. But guess what? If we're never in the you can do this too. I just wanted to actually contribute it to their living, even though I can't afford it. So I got this. And I'm planning another project, as you all know, because I told you yesterday. I am reaching out to an organization, and And I am asking if we can put my project together. It's not definite yet, so I can't spill the beans on it. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. And I'm going to put a cup of frozen vegetables in the vegan regatta, or just tofu, whatever it is we're going to call it. So I'm in there. All right. Okay. So we're going to put an entire cup of mixed vegetables in there. Or maybe should I put two? No, let's make it a cup and a half. Let's see if I can find half. Yeah, let's just put the half in. Today, I am just going out on a whim here. So here we go. Put this. There we go. Put this back in the freezer. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take out all the pans that are in my oven. Okay. Let's see here. Now, should I use the glass or this? I'm going to use the glass one. So, all right. We're going to turn it on 380. Okay, now we're going to stir this up. Oh, been in this kitchen now for 15 minutes. Okay. Alrighty. All right. Is there going to be anything left over? I hope not. All right, now we're going to put, well, this is completely empty, so we don't need this anymore. This goes in the sink. Well, it'll land, and it didn't make a basket, so, all right. Okay, and the reason why I only work on the weekend. The reason why I only cook on the weekend is because I make a huge mess. And I actually writing my next story for you guys. And I do it 5 days a week. I talk about all the hero advocates that are advocating for the victims inside Scientology. And I also did an episode about Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, those people are really victims. Only theirs are just a little bit more settled than Scientology. Because guess what? They use the good Lord and his son Jesus. So it is tragic. And a lot of people came out of there and was talking about how how much they abused them, of course. And of course, there's going to be people out there that's going to deny it. Okay. Now, we're going to put, no, actually, let me see. Should I put it in now? Yeah, let me see here. Now, we're going to put 1/3. Yeah, 1/3 cup of the vegan mozzarella cheese. Yeah, everything I'm going to cook is either vegetarian or vegan. But I'm trying my best to be vegan, but guess what? It is expensive. It's expensive. Things get more expensive. Okay. All right, there we go. Put that in there. Okay. This to the side right there. Then we're going to stir it up. Now, can you make a vegan cannolis? I don't know. I'm not Italian. So, and what else? All right. Now, we're going to put a teaspoon of oregano. There we go. Okay. And all right. Yeah, 1/4 of thyme. 1/4 teaspoon of thyme. Okay. And then we're going to put in 1/3 basils. Oh, darn. Let's see if I can find my... Okay. I'll put half of this in since... All right, there we go. All right. Now, should we put salt in there? Yeah, but we're only going to put about... We're going to put about... We're not going to put a lot in there, so we're going to put about, 1/4. Put in 1/4. Okay, now there. Or 1/3, whatever. Okay, so, and if you can't have salt and the doctor advised you not to have salt, then don't have salt. If it's doctor's orders, don't do it. Okay, and I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of garlic. Now, as you know, I put garlic in almost everything. So, well, put the teaspoon in, but if you really want garlic, yeah, put 2 teaspoons in. But if you want more, then yeah, go for it. All right. There we go. Okay. I put the wrong thing in there on top of it. And it would have went in if I didn't catch it. Okay. All right. Put this there. I'm going to close this up. All right. Let's see here. We're going to put these away. All right. We're going to stir it up. All righty. Okay, now there we go. Now we're going to move these out of the way. Which one? All right. Put this up there. Going to get everything out of the way. This was last week's brunch when I used the pancake recipe to make Belgian waffles. So I'll put this there. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Okay, hopefully you guys won't fall. So then, all right, we got this ready to go. All right, grab a glass one. Okay. All right, here we go. There we are. Now you're gonna need a box of noodle curls or lasagna curls or whatever it is they call it. All right, and then we're gonna pour in. Okay. Now this is okay. Okay. Ooh, I was going wrong. All right, so we're gonna add a jar of marinara sauce. Now, this is a sort of Italian recipe, but not entirely because guess what? I'm not Italian. So, okay. Alrighty. Now, this week, I wrote Buffer Squirrel back. And I explained to her that I was pointing out an issue, but and asking her if she ever checks the SP space. And because, as you know, I explained the last time that not all of the contents out there are about Scientology. They never even mentioned Scientology. It was quiet, pure quiet. Either that, they had films of just the cat. They weren't explaining about the cat or the dog, but yeah, two of them actually explained about Scientology, but then cut it off before that, they said they were going to be at the blue building, but they didn't take any pictures of the blue building. And it is what it is, and yeah. She even asked me who I was the last time, but today I was finishing it up, telling her I wanted to point out the issue to you. And I said, I'm sorry if I came out a little snippy, but of course I get overwhelmed fast because of bipolar, so I get frustrated more fast. Of course, bipolars have a quick temper more than a regular person. Okay. All right. And now Aaron is on there. He is featured. I made a mistake. Sorry. And yeah. So hopefully she'll get back to me and explain the whole situation. She said she didn't know who I was. She asked me who I was. And of course, she should have known by now because I constantly send her contents off. But she doesn't know who I am, which is astonishing in itself because guess what? I actually send all my materials to her. Why she doesn't know who I am, I don't know. But my question was, does she ever check any of her contacts or her submissions? That is my question. And of course, she did mention that Club Brain Fog told her to take it off. What was the reason? I don't know. I guess it's between her and Brain Frog. But yeah, wondering is another thing. All right. Okay. I'm gonna put this on. Hey, wait a minute. What happened here? All right. Put the temperature on 385. There, not a preheated. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I might have forgotten to actually put on the stove. Okay, now we're going to pour on the marinara sauce. Okay. Today I'm just going out on a whim. So this is probably maybe a couple of cups. Or a cup and a half, something like that. All right, put this away. Or throw it directly into recycling. That is recyclable. Okay. 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 Oh, boy. What is that? Is that? Okay, I'm going to have to check what that is. I'm going to toss that part out. Okay, there. All right. There was a little left in there, but I didn't know what that fuzz was, so it was something, but I don't know what it was. All right, this one's recyclable, so I'm going to throw this in there too. And I'm going to open up another jar. And this is garden marinara sauce or pasta sauce. Now I'm going to grab out a spoon and spread it. Okay. Okay. All right. Of course, I had so much carbs this week. I'm not trying. Yeah, every week I try to cut back on my carbs. Of course, you have to have a balance of everything when you have your meals. Of course, I've been so desperate to lose weight that I skipped breakfast. So I only had juice and coffee, as you know. Okay. All right. Put that in there. I'm going to sprinkle on the mozzarella or the vegan mozzarella. And this one is made with cashews. Now, there are some made from almonds, too. Or maybe, almonds. But this one here is made from cashews. Yeah, okay. Put that on. There we go. All right. There we go. Grab some more. And let's see, where was I? Yeah, so I told her I wanted to point out an issue, and I did apologize. I said, I'm sorry if I come out snippy or angry, but, 5 days a week plus you're in this kitchen cooking for you guys, it's a lot. And she told me, just stop doing it. And I'm like, no, I won't have to because I love doing this. So, no, I'm not going to just stop doing it because, first of all, I love my channel and I worked so hard to get a show of some kind under my belt. But at the same time, I loved the advocacy of the entire programming of the SP TV network, only independent. So I did that. All right. So I'm trying to understand why she doesn't know who I am since I sent so many submissions to her, sometimes 5 at the same time. So I'm confused. All right. Okay. And yeah, I don't think she looks at any of the content because some of them are not up. Some of them are not updated, but is talking about Scientology, and others only said about maybe 1 or 2 words, or maybe made one content about it, and then that was it. And yeah, other than that, yeah. So some of them had no subjects of Scientology whatsoever. And it had nothing to do with Scientology. Either they didn't say anything about it, but yeah, she said she didn't know who I am, which is impossible because I send so many contents to her. Yeah. Does she actually look at the contents she submits? I don't know. because some of those people never even mentioned the subject of Scientology. One of them was actually writing a love letter to himself. That's YB. I only said the initials. I'm not going to say the rest. Okay. I think we're going to have half of this. Okay, so I'm gonna pour it on. Hopefully it won't splat all over my computer. Okay, there. All right, there we go. Spread this around. All right, it looks like it's gonna be 1.5 cups of cheese, or maybe 2 cups. All right, so okay, so there it is. All right, so is there enough in there? Hopefully. Yeah, but it broke up a bit, so let's see here. All right. Oh, man. Okay, let's see here. All righty, let's see. So, oh, boy. Yeah, I don't have any lasagna pearls. So I just, there we go. All righty. So, it's 41 minutes already. Now, let's see here. Now, next weekend, let's see. Maybe I'll make a little mac and cheese. All right, so let me see here. I'll just cover the spot as much as I can, because guess what? I ate the other one and it's really stuck on the pan like glue. Oh my gosh. Let's see how much I can get on here. Or I can just cover it and nobody notice it. Of course, I'm the only one that's going to be eating it, so all right. Okay. Alrighty. There. All right, and there it is, the whole thing in there, vegetables and all. Now, this is a way you get to trick your kids into eating their vegetables when they don't want to eat it. So, all right. Of course, I'm going to pour this on top. Hopefully nobody notice. Okay. Okay. Do I want to make dessert? Let's see. Okay. Geez. You know what? I don't think I am, since I don't really have any ingredients out to make one. Okay. Yeah, hopefully I'll hear from her soon, but you know what? Even if she doesn't get back to me and don't want to put me on there for some reason, I'm just going to forget it altogether and still do the content. So, or I could come up with my own space to have all the Scientology contents or other cult contents, but it has to be about the cult. And it can be some of the occult if they practice the art of dark magic. Otherwise, no. If it's the art of white magic, I'm not going to have it on the space. So, yeah, I'll just and have information where you can send your email to your local Congress about Scientology's tax exempt status. Okay. Now use the entire jar of sauce. Okay, there we go. Okay. Is it the entire jar? Yeah, it was the entire jar. So there we go. How is it going to turn out? I don't know. So far, in my eyes, it looks good. I don't know what's going to look like in your eyes, but okay. And now we're going to add the last bit. So I think this is 1 cup. Let's see here. Let's see how many cups I'm going to put in. All right. Looks like it's going to be about 1 cup. Okay. Now we're going to sprinkle it all over the lasagna, the vegan lasagna. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put in another half in. So let's see here. So that's 2.5 cups. And you keep layering it like you would layer other regular lasagnas. Okay. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, there. This should be enough. There's a package left. All righty. So we're going to dump this all in the sink and the end of it. Okay, we're going to clean up here. And we're going to stick this in the oven. Oh, and it's been 47 minutes since I've been in the kitchen. So I'm going to put everything away. Now, the banana bread I made last week, it was good. But I didn't actually give it to my guest because she only came in for a second and that was it. So there we go. We're gonna toss these out. All right. And now I'm gonna put the vegan lasagna into the oven. Okay. Whoa! This weighs a ton. Okay, so we're gonna just stick it in. Hopefully I don't burn myself. There we go. All right. And there we have it. It's been 48 minutes. So, do I have any other thing to cook or bake? Not really. So, if you guys love my content and I like to earn it, buy me a coffee. minute. You know what? Last week I forgot to mention when I did the mafia-like content that, well, hello, green glass, that I have other links that you can get a hold of if you have any questions about the mafia. Now, the highest one I recommend is Dominic Sicali's Roundtable. He takes Q&As all the time. So whatever questions you want to ask, you can ask it. And Michael Francese also has his mob content channel, and he does on occasion does a Q&A. And his channel or show is titled Michael Francese. Of course, you know both Dominic Sicali and Michael Francese were former capos. Michael was a former capo of the Colombo family, and Dominic Sicali was a capo in the Genovese family. It's either the Genovese family or the Bonanno family. I think it's the Genovese family. And the other two, the sit down with Jeff Nutter, I hope I said his last name right. He said he wasn't going to do mob-like contents, but I don't know if he's going to stop because he keeps talking about it. And then the original gangster podcast with Scott Bernstein, I think that's his last name. He does Q&As all the time, and so does Jeff. So, but Michael does a Q&A sometimes, and he does issues, and I think his content is okay, but I actually stopped short when he talks about politics because we got an issue with that one. Because last time, well, one day when he was doing politics, I had another view of it, and he had one view of it. Of course, it turned into a mess. So I'm like, well, okay. Now that's water under the bridge. He also put the water under the bridge there. So let me tell you, you do not make too many friends with politics. One would think the opposite of the other. And, oh, wait a minute. I forgot to mention the ingredients on what to put in my vegan lasagna. I put 30 ounces of tofu. I broiled up the entire noodles, the big noodles, the lasagna curls, boiled it up, added 30 ounces of tofu, a cup and a half of mixed vegetables, 1 teaspoon oregano, half teaspoon thyme, and 1/4 of basil. And then noodles were done. And I added an entire jar into it. And layer by layer, I put it. First, I put the sauce on the bottom so it doesn't stick. And I put the lasagna curls in. Then I put my tofu on top of it. And I put about a couple of cups of the plant-based mozzarella or cheddar, or mixer of both. So, in layer by layer, I layered it. And then I got to the end, but there wasn't enough lasagna curl at the end because it was sticking to the pan. So that was it. And have my oven on 385. Let the oven heat up. Once it's heat up and you're done with the lasagna, place it in. And I would say it'll cook up for a good about 30 to 35 minutes. That should do it. And I forgot one thing after another. So, yeah. And yeah. There's the channels I highly recommend if you have any questions about the mob. Because those two guys, Michael and Dominic, were both cockles, so they would know it firsthand. So there you are. And as of Jeff and Scott, I think is a journalist, and he has his own book about the mob. And Jeff, I'm not so sure. Yes, he is definitely has a crime content. Okay, so guess what? I'm not making dessert today because, let's face it, I don't have anything to bake or refrigerate, whatever. And I just don't have anything to bake today. So that should do it. All right. I've been on 56 minutes. Oh boy, did I have a lot to say today. So yes, I definitely know how to make baklava green glass. So yeah. Okay, if you want me to make it next week, I will. But I don't have the ingredients now. I will definitely make it. So will I make it next week? What do you think? All right. Maybe I'll make it next week. All right. Okay. Now, well, yeah, I just didn't have anything to bake today. And I said my ending, but I wasn't really finished. Because last week, when I did the mob Scientology versus Mafia, I forgot to put the information in at the end. So I have 4 of them at the comments below that segment, that episode. So look for the part 2 of Scientology versus the Mafia. And guess what? I am going to work on a 3rd, but I don't know when I'm going to work on it. Let's see. Towards maybe the end of fall, maybe. I don't know when I'm going to make it, but all right. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. guess what? For some reason, I don't have my glasses here. I don't know why, but okay, let's see here. All right. Okay. So, yeah. And yeah, I'll try and make it. And I don't know what story I'm going to do on Monday, but I'm probably going to have Scientology and the homeless. So, okay. Buy me a coffee, but if you can't afford it, you won't have to. Buy me a coffee, hit the like, press subscribe, and guess what? I will see you tomorrow for brunch at 10. Okay.